Can we please rise for the pledge in a moment of silence? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you.
Should we read that over first?
I skimmed it. I saw. Okay, so welcome to July 20th, 7:30. We're going to start with acceptance of minutes. May I have a motion and a second for July 6th minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And we have an abstract. Des, will you read it, please?
This is abstract number 13. It contains vouchers 2017-1180 through 2017-1283 and 2017-1295, voiding voucher 2017-1257, check number 17892, and totaling $116,634.18.
Okay, may I have a motion to accept?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have some old business. This is the exchange of the lands between the village and the town of Woodbury. Let's have a motion in a second, and then if we want, we can have some discussion. So may I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Yeah. Okay. No, go.
No, you're first.
So I think it was when it was on the agenda a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago. I abstained because I wanted to gather some further additional information. So during that time, I spoke to several people, our town engineer, and a couple other people. So, I'm prepared to, do an up or down vote tonight. So I'd like to, move forward with the, with the vote tonight.
Okay, any other questions or discussions?
Well, yeah, I have a few. It would have been nice to have known what property we were actually talking about on the agenda, but I emailed back, and I got a response from Desiree, which I appreciate, Desiree. This is town land, and as far as I know, you can't just give town land away. This is owned by the town of Woodbury, which includes Harriman. I think that if you want to vote for this and to give this property away, which is very valuable, it should go to a public referendum. I think the people of the town of Woodbury should have a right and a say of what we give away that's town property. As far as exchanging it for the village property that's up at the reservoir, we, Councilman Arone and I, had worked while I was the acting supervisor, an IMA with the Village of Woodbury. And in that IMA, it specifically states that any village land that could be either obtained or that they have currently, which can be used for parklands, would be at the control of the town of Woodbury. And that we would maintain it, and that we would have control and access of that property. So to say that we're exchanging the highway garage and all that's property for land that we already pretty much control and run, it is not an advantage to the people of Woodbury. I think that if you want to put the vote and make it the motion that we sell the land or exchange, but in a way it's still a sale of that property, then I think the people of the town of Woodbury should have a say in that, and that I would approve and vote yes for that under the conditions that we do have a public referendum, because you are giving town property away. And I wish Joe was here. I wish we could have asked him if you can just go ahead and do this arbitrarily, which is exactly what we're trying to do tonight. And so I would like to redo the motion to state that you want to exchange land, which is the highways properties, for the village land up at the parks, that it goes before the public and let the public decide. And I'd like to get a motion and a second. I'll make that motion.
Well, right now, we have a motion and a second on the floor for discussion. We'll vote that up and down, and then you can bring yours up as well.
So,
Okay.
Mr. Supervisor, one of the things I spoke to, I still call him the highway superintendent. I forget Rob's fancy new title that he has. So one of the things that the village did budget, they budgeted for repairs to that building, for gutters and a couple other things. As you know, the gutters, if you look, that they're falling down, and there's a couple other things that, he would like to do. So I know if the vote does transfer over, to the village, I believe in their budget that they have money set aside for, for the repairs, based off of conversations that I've had with Mr. Wyan and members of the village board as well.
That's correct. Okay. Go
Just
ahead.
real quick.
Mike.
Yeah, when we brought the vote up, I think it was a few months ago, there was myself, I know I abstained because one of the councilmen wanted a little bit more research, which wound up in requested to speak to the mayor, and I spoke to the mayor of the village a little further for myself to get a little more understanding, which I did. And that's why I felt, my mic's on, isn't it? Okay, I'm sorry. So after speaking to the mayor, I was able to get a little more understanding of being able to have full effect and taking the reservoir onto our property, the res, and we'll own it basically on the building and ground side, and let the highway department do what they need to do on the village end. So I was very comfortable listening to what the mayor had to explain to me. So that gave me a little bit more understanding. And then speaking to one of the councilmen who had also a concern where he was able to get his answer. So that made me a little more comfortable. So I'm comfortable moving forward.
Okay. Bob, do you have any comments?
Yeah, this town and village arrangement that we now have needs to be ironed out, just so that in the future we can move ahead with the various projects without having to worry who owns what and to what board we need to talk to. So I'm ready to go ahead and vote on it.
Okay. And just to clarify a few things, I checked with the assessor, and all of those lands that we're talking about, whether it be the highway garage or whether it be the reservoir property, which is 96-plus acres, are wholly tax exempt, so there's no tax that Harriman is paying on those properties. The way we view it, or at least the way I view it, is that it is the people of Woodbury, regardless of whether it's a town property or a village property, it's owned by the people of Woodbury. It's not owned by the town, it's not owned by the village, it's owned by the taxpayers. And in order to alleviate some additional expenses like double insurance coverage, going through IMAs, having attorneys view all these contracts, this would simplify it. So we have a motion, we have a second. Let's do a roll call. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilman Hunter,
Yes.
Councilman Arone,
Yes.
Councilman Palermo,
No.
Councilman Essig,
Yes.
Supervisor Sutz.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
I would like to know that if we would want to put this up for a referendum. I think the people of the town of Woodbury have a right to vote on land that we're giving away. And so I have on the motion to ask that this go before a public referendum, and I would like to see at least a vote on it. Give me the second, and then if you want to vote it down, you can vote it down. But at least show your colors there. So I've made the motion.
Anybody wish to second it? Hearing
Okay.
no second,
No,
motion is
not a
done.
problem.
Okay.
I think the people will understand.
So moving forward, we have another agenda item, which is going to be the IMA with the Monroe Animal Control contract. So can I have a motion and a second, and then if we have discussion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Would anybody like to have any discussion?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In terms of, under the Section 2 services, it says our ACO will go to locations within the town of Monroe. What exactly does that mean? Does that mean any location?
No. What happens is Monroe is maintaining one of their own animal control personnel, and that person will be sequestering whatever the animal is that needs to be sequestered. And then if that person is unable, for whatever reason, to bring that animal to us, then we would go get it. And then there would be a fee for that. Anytime that our animal control officer leaves the territory of Woodbury, the town of Woodbury, there would be a fee for that.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just concerned about where we're sending our ACO.
And that's also based on her availability. If she's not able to go into Monroe, then she won't be able to do that, and they have to have somebody bring it to her shelter.
That I'm having, I can't for some reason pull up the file.
Can't open it?
Yeah, I can't open it. I just want, there's something I read on the bottom, I think it was 120 days. I was hoping that we could reduce it, making it less than 6 months.
They didn't correct that?
Something that,
Agreement may terminate or amended on at least 180 days written notice by either town, but the agreement's only good till December 31st. It says that.
So there's only 5 months
Uh,
left for this
Section 1.
agreement.
okay, all right.
Yeah, this has been bouncing around for
Okay,
quite some
gotcha.
time now. But Councilman Hunter, I'm trying to get the wording so I can read it to you
Bob, what section did you say
clearly.
again?
It's the first page, Section 2, Services. It's just a little vague about where.
Yeah, it addresses it,
Pickup and transport.
no, that was the fees. Do you remember, Pam, was it he, right? Oh, that's not, that's not the one.
wish I could find
I know, there was a section, because we just talked about it yesterday. Do you remember where it was? Sorry.
All right, give us a minute, let's look it up, we'll find it.
Yeah, I'm trying to scan it real fast, but of course now I feel pressure, so I'm going horribly wrong. Okay, it says the ACO shall make all, it's under section 4, delivery of dogs to shelter. It's the 4th line. It says the town of Woodbury ACO shall make all reasonable efforts to retrieve the dog from a location in the town of Monroe. So it could be quite possible that at times she wouldn't be able to go into Monroe to retrieve the dog based on her responsibilities here first, and depending on where in Monroe it is, if she can't get to it, then obviously she can't retrieve it. Right.
Does
Right.
this- Does this include Cures Joel?
No,
Any-
no. No. They're a village unto itself.
Right, not,
Okay.
it doesn't include the Village of Monroe or Village of Cars Joel, just the town of Monroe.
Okay.
Well, we have our own
Or your
agreement with
portion of
Harriman.
Harriman. It
right.
includes our portion of Harriman. You might
No.
want to mention that Tony Cardona is here.
Okay. Just to clarify for the record, we have 2 councilmen from Monroe here, Tony Cardone and Mike McGinn, so just for clarification. Any other questions or comments?
I'm just looking at the impound fees and the pickup transportation service fees. I'm
The
just-
fees are identical to
I'm-
what we
yeah.
charge Cornwall.
That's what I'm reviewing.
We made sure that was important, so we didn't do billing errors.
Okay,
And if you read your email, I think it was about a week ago, maybe even 2 weeks, we ran this through our town attorney, and his recommendation was that it was fine, legal, he saw no issues with it. That was why we didn't bring it up 2 weeks ago, is because I wanted everybody to have time to go through it and make sure there were no issues. And since then, we did find one mistake, but it was pricing. Tony, you want to say something? Oh, it did include the village as part of it? I'll have to look at that.
There's a portion of the village of Harriman that is in the town of Monroe. No, they have their own.
We have our own agreement with Harriman, just as we have one with Cornwall, so, okay. Any other comments? All right, so we have a motion and a second?
Yes.
So, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion passed, thank you. Sure, you want to come up to the mic so you can?
Go ahead, Tony.
You can get on camera and nobody's yelling at you? Sorry, I couldn't resist,
How's
Tony.
it feel?
You can yell at me, I'm used to it. I just want to say thank you for your hard work, your efforts.
Push
Just-
the button on, make it.
Tony, just hit, so it shows green.
Okay. I just want to thank you all for your hard work and your efforts. It's appreciated. Councilman McGinn, myself, and I know Councilman Cologne have been hard at work trying to get things in order, and this is very helpful to us, very helpful to the taxpayers in our town, and we truly appreciate all the effort you guys and Desiree as well, and Pam, have put into this. So on behalf of the town taxpayers, we thank you very much.
No, thank you, and thanks for coming, guys, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. We'll see you at the next meeting, though. You come to ours.
I don't think so, I don't stay up that late.
Fat chance.
3 hours.
Hopefully, we'll stay awake.
Yeah. Okay, we have some new business. We have a third-party custody agreement with M&T Bank. Do we need to explain that in detail? So everybody knows that Lakeland Bank is our new bank in town, And we have this custody agreement, which is, it's almost like an insurance policy that they have to have in order for us to do business with them. Since they are a bank in our town, we felt it was, and we had this discussion several months ago, we felt it was prudent for us to start doing business with them. We were waiting for this agreement to come in. The agreement finally came in. I think the village authorized theirs last week.
Yes, last week.
And I'm looking for a motion and a second to authorize us to sign a third-party custody agreement and start using Lakeland Bank as one of our banks.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good, thank you. All right, now we have a resolution. You want to read this,
I can if you like.
please?
Okay. Whereas the Western New York Children's Psychiatric Center, opened in Seneca, West Seneca in 1970, takes seriously emotionally disturbed children between the ages of 4 to 18 years old from 19 Western New York counties, and I'm not going to say them all because I can't pronounce some of them,
But Orange is one of them.
but Orange is one of them. Whereas despite the significant volume from these 19 counties, the Western New York Children's Psychiatric Center has the lowest 30-day and 90-day reinstatement or reinstitutionalization rate of any facility in New York State. The costs of long-term hospitalization and institutionalization, which I can't say either apparently, are drastically reduced and eliminated when the readmission rates are low. And whereas Governor Cuomo, in his 2017 budget, proposed that the West Seneca's Children's Psychiatric Center be moved to the Buffalo Psychiatric Center, which is an adult facility and campus. Moving these children into an adult setting would not be therapeutically beneficial and may in fact be detrimental to the psyches of these children. And whereas the medicinal and therapeutic benefits of treating and counseling children with mental illness in both rural and school settings have been documented in many medical journals and academic papers, the governor's proposal to these children in a lockdown facility with adults runs counter to science, logic, and common sense. And whereas the New York Assembly and Senate unanimously passed A 6505 and S 4630, which prohibit the co-location of certain children facilities with adult facilities in Erie County, and whereas Governor Cuomo needs to sign this bill to save WNY Children's Psychiatric Center in West Seneca. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town of Woodbury Town Board supports the passage of the above bills in the New York State Legislature and also encourages strongly Governor Cuomo to immediately sign the necessary legislation into law.
Okay, so may I have a motion and a second?
I'll make that motion.
Anybody second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good. Okay, now we have the Transit Orient Development. So this is the project that is going down by the train station, and what they are asking us for is a letter saying that we support the project in order for them to apply for grant money, in order for them to afford some of the studies and some of the preliminary drawings or whatever it may be from the state. There's no money coming from us. There's no money coming from the village. The village has already signed on to this. I was told today that the county is waiting for us to approve it, and should we approve it, then the county will approve it as well and send their own letter in. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer before we put this for a vote?
There's no vote needed.
There is no vote.
See,
We don't have to vote this?
It's just, you're not voting to approve anything. They're asking you for a letter to be sent as part of their grant application, supporting their grant application to
And
have
it's
that.
for infrastructure, parks, and community centers, and all sorts of good things.
Right, and there's no action needed, it's just you want to know whether, I believe, based on the conversations
Right.
we had, whether you're writing the letter on behalf of the entire board, or whether just you as an individual supporting it as supervisor because the board doesn't want to.
So if the board supports it, let's just get a polling. Is there anybody who doesn't want their name to something like this?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay,
And I'm supportive of it as long as, you know, the whole project, there's a lot to go on with it, as long as it doesn't bind the village or any other issues. I'm supportive of them, you know, trying to get grant money. So, and I know we had conversations about that, and that's the case, so I'm fine with it.
and we also have village trustee Tim Egan here. So there's, right, village is in support of this? You can verify that with the board? Okay, he's shaking his head
That would
yes.
be my question as well. As long as it doesn't affect the village in any way, then I don't have a problem moving forward. if you don't see an issue with this.
I'm in complete support. I've said it many times that I like the idea of what they're doing. I would have just, as I asked you, to have a time to meet with the developers and just to talk to them. I think that it's being built in the town of Woodbury, and I think that it would have been respectful to just sit down with them and have a discussion. But as far as the idea of this village, I'm in favor of it completely.
Okay. He was going to be here tonight.
Yeah, I understood. I
Unfortunately, he
got
had a
it.
death in the family and couldn't make it, but his intent was to show up. So at this point, with Bob being the only abstention, I'm going to assume that everybody else would like their name signed to that letter as far as the board goes.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Yes? Okay,
Yep.
good. So then we have an extra item. We need to schedule a public hearing regarding the grant application. This is about a bus. We're trying to get buses for our seniors, and maybe it'll be a dial-a bus, maybe it'll be a senior bus, whatever kind of grant money we can get, that's the plan. So can I have a motion and a second? And then we'll schedule this for August 3rd at 7:30 PM.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then we have some department reports. Des, will you read that?
I will, but I just have to note about the grant, because you have to say it specifically pursuant to the grant applications. I just want to read
okay.
it clearly for
Go ahead.
y'all. It's to obtain public input on NYSDOT 5310 grant application being submitted to purchase and utilize new buses in order to accommodate all elderly and disabled residents of the town of Woodbury. This public hearing is necessary to the grant process in case any other current public transportation entities want to come to speak to you about why we should be using them and not purchasing our own bus.
Okay,
Okay, so Al said that had to be clear.
all right, good. So again, August 3rd at 7:30 is the plan.
Are we going to see this grant application prior?
I don't know if he's going to have it completed prior, because this has to be part of the process to submit with the application.
Okay.
But I can ask him to try to send, I have the booklet.
The reason why I'm asking is references to the state money, is it federal grant money? Because if
It's-
it's federal, I'd rather.
It's state, New York State,
It's state,
DOT,
okay.
New York
Yeah.
State DOT.
I know you and I met with
If it's
with
federal, I'd rather
congressmen.
go through the congressman.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you can borrow my booklet on it if you'd like, or I
This
can try to
is,
forward it to you.
Yeah, no, this is actually New York State.
Okay.
And, we may be able to get James involved, James Scoofus, to give us a hand with this, as well as maybe even the county can help. But, yeah, the congressman, when we
That's a
spoke to him, if there's federal grant money, we would go to him first.
Thank you.
Okay, department reports, we're good? You want to read those?
Sure. We're doubling up this month since we didn't have a quorum for the last meeting. So there's two supervisors' report for this evening. The first is for May 2017, and it has receipts totaling $310,195.27 and disbursements totaling $993,957.79.
Okay, may I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And the second one is the report for June 2017 with receipts totaling $230,589.07 and disbursements totaling $792,978.80.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do you want to read the rest of the reports?
I sure can. You have the town clerk's report for May and June of 2017. You have a combined buildings and grounds report for May and June 2017, animal goose control report for May, June 2017, police communications report, May, June 2017, police commissioner minutes, none received, beautification committee minutes, July 13th, 2017, library minutes, May 30th and June 28th, 2017, park and recreation minutes, May 16th and June 20th, 2017, and budget versus actual for May and June of 2017.
Okay, so having finished all that, we're going to go out to public comment. Anybody in the first row? Just come up to the microphone, make sure the green light's on, and introduce yourself.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jacqueline Hernandez, and I just had a question. I know I came in at the tail end of the component where you were covering the land that was going to be transferred over to Woodbury, and I just wanted to kind of get an idea of why that wouldn't go to public for voting purposes.
Well, the land stays with the taxpayers of Woodbury. It's not leaving Woodbury.
Okay.
So the goal was that the highway department has tens of thousands of dollars worth of repairs that need to be done that the town never was aware of or budgeted for. But the agreement that was signed with them says that we're liable for that. Now, we don't run the highway department. We have nothing to do with the highway department anymore. That's a village-controlled entity now.
Right.
So it made sense that that building and the property would be turned over to the village in order for them to maintain it, do what they needed to do in order to continue the great services they've been giving us. In exchange, I was asked when we brought this up over a year ago that we should try to get something in exchange for giving them that piece of property, even though it stays within the tax base of Woodbury.
Right.
So we went and we said, well, what do you own that maybe we would be interested that's under our control? And we found out that there was a large parcel of land over, I think it was over 96 acres, don't hold me to the exact number, that they owned, that they were insuring. And I said, well, we run the parks, meaning the town. It would make sense that we would have control over that total parcel. So that was the whole intent behind it. It saves us money in the long run because we're going to reduce our insurance costs. And then the entity that is running the highway department, which is the village, has now total control over what they need to do in that building. We have nothing to say about the highway department.
Okay, all right.
123 acres, I was just told.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else in row one? Green light.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Juana Leandri, and I just had a follow-up question to what you just
Sure.
responded to for Jackie's question, which with the 123 acres, is that intended to create a new Woodbury Park?
It's already part of the park system. It just now comes under our control, since we run the park system. The town runs the parks. The village runs the highway department. So it makes sense that anything within those should be run by those agencies.
Okay.
That's the
I'm just
intent.
wondering, the
Yeah.
parcel is usable? I'm just trying to get a sense of
Well, it's vacant
what-
land.
It's
It's
vacant land.
wooded. It is usable land, of course, yeah.
Okay.
It also includes the reservoir itself.
Oh, the reservoir is
The
included.
reservoir
Right.
itself is included in the land that the village owns.
Okay, awesome. And I just wanted to say thank you for agreeing on the resolution for the children with mental illness. That really kind of hit home for me, and I was glad that you guys were all in agreement that it's important to keep the children's services separated from the adult services, so thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Okay, anybody in row two?
John Smith, Highland Mills. I've missed several meetings. I've been a little bit under the weather and so forth. But my reason for coming up today is I'd like to commend Bobby Blair for the excellent job he did on the stairs to the tennis court over at the Burke Pool. I don't know if you've had a chance to get over there and see him. It's by far an excellent and professional job as to what he did. Over the year that I've been on the commission and attending also is it's been subject to a lot of criticism and pressure to get this done, that done, and whatever and so forth. So you really have to appreciate the excellent job that he did, so forth.
Well, thank you. I'll make sure he's aware of that, yeah. Anybody else in row two? Row three? Anybody in row three? Row four? Anybody in the back of the room?
Maria Hunter, Highland Mills. As chairperson of the beautification committee, I'd like to thank our committee member Diane Marone and a resident, Robert Anzalone, who they were both out here yesterday weeding out in front of Town Hall. As we go along with our volunteers and myself, we'll be getting to the other parts of the town that we need to take care of with the weeding. Village Planning Board Chair. Next meeting, which is August 2nd, I think it's August 2nd, we will have a planning board meeting, and on that agenda, everyone is welcomed again to attend, to listen to the Transit Orient District, the gardens. They're going to be at our meeting. We're going to be working on the scoping document. I've always had open meetings, and I know, I can't remember when I had the meeting last time. I invited both the town and the village board members to come and listen to the presentation. We're not hiding anything. Our meetings are open. They're posted on the website, and we've had a joint meeting where things were discussed so everyone knew what was going on. It's a very large project. We're taking it step by step, following all the rules. And I've always asked if the town board has any input, because you're listed on all the documents, to let us know. And that's the way we can work together between the town and the village and to get what we need to achieve. Thank you.
You're welcome. And just for the record, the last meeting, I think, was when we first got our new camera system, which we were able to take to the firehouse, and because we were expecting a large crowd, so we could take the camera system with us. And it was well attended, but it should have been better attended for people who are curious about what's going on. So anybody at home, if you're interested to find out what's going on in Woodbury, come to the meetings, because that's where you're going to get the facts. Anybody else? Chief, do you have anything? No? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss you, Justin?
Justin Hunter, Highland Mills. There's an old saying that just about everybody on earth has heard. It's called making a mountain out of a molehill. And what just happened tonight by Frank Palermo speaking earlier was making a mountain out of a pebble. This is Woodbury land, Frank. I don't know what your problem is with the village and the town having the proper ownership of the parcels under their departments. Time and time again, you've spoken out against the village. You've made it difficult to get things done. I was born and raised here. My childhood summers were spent at the reservoir. And when they came before the board a couple months ago and they were worried about getting that building redone that could get the kids more opportunities to do things, have parties up there, and you sat there adamantly against it, made a whole dent in the progress of it. I don't know what your problem is, but you're making a mountain out of a molehill. And it's just not right. Don't interrupt me, I'm not done. I'm speaking now. I'm furious, I'm really mad. I cannot put into words how disappointed I am that you constantly do this. Give it up. It's not right for the residents of Woodbury. The highway department is falling apart. They need to do work. The land needs to be owned by the village of Woodbury, which is still owned by the taxpayers of Woodbury. It's not giving anything away. It's transferring the proper ownership. Get the facts straight. Stop making a mountain out of a molehill. Do the right thing. It's ridiculous that we have to do this time and time again. The fact that the village even exists is ridiculous, and it makes stuff like this happen. So keep the election year stuff out of getting business done. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to just respond to what you had to say. Two things. Number one, you're taking property that is owned by the village of Harriman, and you're actually just giving it to the village of Woodbury. It's not just the town. You're taking property away from a village, one village, and you're giving it to another. That's number one. As far as the building up at the reservoir, if I'm not mistaken, Joey, I think I made the motion to go forward with that. You were sitting right here in front, and you said thank you to me. So I made the motion that we should go forward with it. It was the supervisor, because this passed 5-0, to go ahead and start the bidding on it, and it was the current supervisor who put a hold on going out to bid. So don't sit there and look at me and say, I'm the one trying to mess this up. In fact, I'm the one who insisted that it be done completely with bathrooms and the kitchen rather than, well, I don't want to say it on TV, but half something, okay? So don't sit here and get up here and tell me I'm making mountains out of pebbles. It's just, these are facts. And the facts is that you're taking a piece of property from the village of Harriman and you're just giving it to the village of Woodbury. And I don't think that's right. That's number one. And number two, once again, your facts are completely wrong with the building up at the res. I'm not the one that held it up. I'm not the one that said I need $15,000 for an appraisal. I'm not the one that went through all of this other stuff. We built the first one up there. There was no problems. Nobody had a problem with the first building. All of a sudden, there became problems on this. So please, get your facts straight if you're going to come up here and criticize me. Thank you.
Councilman Hunter.
I'd like to congratulate Officer John Farrell and K-9 Zeke being the top or near the top in their class at the Canine School in Orange County. That's a job well done, and looking forward to their continued education up there. And also, I'd like to thank all the Parks Department personnel and Buildings and Grounds for getting our parks up and running and cleaned up this year. Things are well underway and looking good, so many thanks to them.
Councilman Arone?
Even though I was out of town, my wife and kids went. Kids' Day at the Res, I heard, was fabulous, and to all of those that volunteered in the dunk tank, and Joey and staff, great job as usual. And I echo Councilman Hunter's comments around Officer Farrell and K-9 Zeke. It will be nice to see him out on the road. So, congrats.
Councilman Palermo?
I would like to thank all those residents in the town of Woodbury that dunked me on Saturday. I had a great time. I really did enjoy it. I didn't get the name of the girl that dunked me about 6 times, but she was good, and I appreciate all that everybody did. I did have a long line, and I don't know what that means as far as me being popular, but it was good. I really, truly enjoyed it, and I thank the town parks and for the display that they put on Saturday. It was tremendous. The police that were there, the ambulance, and the fire trucks, and everybody else that made that a wonderful day. Thank you.
I also just want to thank Joey, your staff, and all the volunteers that came to kids. I think that is basically why our community is what it is. The Res is built for that. The community loves stuff like that, and when everybody could come on just a nice day and enjoy just where we live, that's what it's all about. So great job.
Des?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. For those who may not be aware, we do have a system called Code Red. We did a couple of Code Red announcements the past month. One was reminding everybody about the fireworks and touch a truck. And the other one was about the drill that was held this past Monday night, or last Monday night, at the school with the fire department. And then I hear a lot of people didn't know about any of that. So we do have a Code Red service. It is a free service for you to enroll in. The town and village split the costs since it's for the community. You just go on to either the town or village website, follow the link for Code Red, and enroll if you're not already done so. If you don't want to be enrolled and you are getting calls, just send us an email and we can take care of that as well. Also, for those of you who are not aware, we will, as of next month, no longer be airing village and town board, planning board and zoning board meetings on Channel 22. We let that contract expire. We're saving, how much did you say we're saving? About $2,200 a year by not using that service, and instead we're using YouTube like our neighboring communities do, which is free. And it's a very, very long YouTube address, but if you go to the website, there it's on there. You can just click the link and bring you straight to that website section of YouTube. I don't know much about YouTube, but that's how it works. And do we have cats at the shelter?
We do.
We have a lot of cats and kittens at the shelter, so Pam has been working, and a dog. Pam has been working overtime. I know we've adopted a ton of cats and kittens, 32 so far. It's great. And for those of you who don't know, and she's going to kill me because I'm going to make her talk about this, we do have a kitten that some residents in town are raising funds for. His name is Leonard. I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook or heard about it, but I'm sure you have. He was a kitten that was abused badly, and he's going to need a lot of surgeries. And Pam, the wonderful person that she is doing her best to get that accomplished at no cost to the town. And she's raised quite a couple of $1,000, over $7,000 so far, but we might need more. So if you're interested in that, you can contact the animal shelter, which is 928-7161, extension 8, or go on your Facebook page, right? You have it linked to that. So yeah, that cat's was pretty bad shape, and he's such a good kitten, 7 weeks old. I don't want to go into details, but it was really badly hurt. So
No, I'm desperately allergic to cats, and I went up there to see it because I was curious. And I had an asthma attack, so I had to leave the building after a while. But the cat is very cute, and it appears to be healthy at the moment, which is good. So, good job, Pam. All right, let me just correct a few things. I did, and I admit that I was the one who slowed down the building of the bid to put the building on the property at the res, because we didn't know who owned the property at the time, and we might have had an IMA, and so we had to clarify all that first. So that was number one. Number two, the Village of Harriman does not own any of that property. That is all owned by the town and/or the Village of Woodbury, and Harriman pays no tax for that property because we are wholly exempt on those properties, including the highway garage. So I just wanted to clarify those items. Moving forward, we have an Iron Chef competition coming up this Sunday. So I'm going to speak mostly to you folks. These are volunteer organizations. We have West Point Firemen coming down. We have the Harriman Firemen participating, the Woodbury Ambulance Corps participating, and several other groups. There is a fee to participate, or excuse me, there is a fee to attend, but you will get fed. They usually have hamburgers, hot dogs, sausage and peppers, there's soda, all sorts of things. They have 3 bands there. We're going to be in competition. When I say we, I mean the ambulance corps. I will be there cooking. I expect to see everybody from Woodbury there and vote for us. That's the way it is. Moving forward, I also want to congratulate and compliment Rick Walls. He is so committed to our military personnel. And everybody's aware of the issues we've had recently with several Marines have passed away due to an airplane accident. Rick has been putting in time and a half, and even more if possible, to volunteer and help coordinate things up at Stewart Airport. In addition to that, the citizens of Woodbury have stepped up. The seniors of Woodbury had made pins and little ribbons that they could wear to honor them. We have one business, and I know she's going to hate that I compliment her, but Jay's, Colleen, has stepped forward and fed over 300 people up at Stewart Airport, and these are all our military personnel. So I congratulate all the people of Woodbury, and I specifically congratulate Rick because he is an unsung hero in this community, and he puts a lot of time and effort into the military. And by the way, the Iron Chef competition, that money that he raises for that goes to our military personnel. So if you want to support the military and you want to be part of Woodbury, you really need to come out and give them some money, all right? Other than that, I wish everybody a happy evening. And I'm sorry, we're going to need to go into executive session, but I do not believe we're going to be taking any action. So.
Motion.
I have a motion to go in executive session?
I'll second.
Second? Okay. Executive session is for employment, relating to employees or employment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and there will be no action. I can't till after the executive session.